During the 1940s, World War II was spreading worldwide. Almost all of the men were off at war, leaving the women in America to stabilize life back at home. After the men were drafted, women very quickly became the influences of American culture. The foundation of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League in 1943 led to a new sense of patriotism. Women took the male-dominated sport of baseball and not only brought many Americans nationwide together during the hard times of war, but also kickstarted the equal rights movement for all women across America. Baseball was created in 1869 and became America's favorite pastime. This sport was a way for many Americans nationwide to watch live entertainment and distract them from reality. In the early 1900s, women were housewives. Their main job was to care for their husbands and families and to do all the cooking and cleaning. This all changed when the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League was created due to America's involvement in World War II. The U.S. entered the war when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. The war led to women having to take over all of the jobs. Women took factory jobs and started to build munitions for the war. The invasion by the American troops on Normandy, France, on June 6, 1944, was the beginning of the end of World War II. On May 8, 1945, Axis power surrendered, resulting in a victory for America.
Girls playing pro ball? You bet.
Philip Wrigley founded the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League in 1943. The original teams created were the Rockford Peaches, Racine Bells, Kenosha Comets, and South Bend Blue Sox. The selection process for the league consisted of tryouts where the women had to display their skills in throwing, catching, fielding, running, sliding, and hitting. Once the teams were formed, spring training was set for May 27, 1943, at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Baseball League for spring training at Alexandria, Virginia. Two teams are working out, the Fort Wayne Daisies and the Racine Bells, getting in shape for an opening day doubleheader. Dottie Schroeder is quite confident that her hair won't get in her eyes. And keeping her eye on the ball is catcher Kate Von Droll. Okay, gals, play ball.
The women not only had to be highly skilled as a player, but also had to sign a contract saying they would follow high moral standards and all of the rules of conduct. While women were playing a male sport, the uniform was a one-piece dress, satin shorts, knee-high baseball socks, and a baseball hat. Every player had to go to Ruth Tiffany School, a charm school. While attending charm school, the women were taught proper etiquette and manners. The women had to act in a certain way while they were on the field and off the field. This included no smoking, no drinking, and acting as a lady.
He insisted that the spectators knew that those were women out there playing the game by the way they acted, by the uniform, how they dressed off the field, etc. Made me realize that that was a very important part of women in sport.
Oh my. Well, playing in those dresses and skirts was something else, but Mr. Wrigley wanted us to look like young ladies and play ball like men, and that's exactly what we did.
The women of the league symbolized the girl next door in spikes. It was very important to Philip Wrigley that the women of the league presented themselves as ladies in the 1940s. Americans nationwide were impressed with the high skill of female baseball players, resulting in nearly 200,000 fans in the opening season alone. The change in women's roles from the war made occupational changes more acceptable, which brought the league a great amount of encouragement and acceptance. The league also presented the men at war with entertainment. They played games at army camps and veteran hospitals for the men in order to bring them the joy that reminded them of their homes in America. At the beginning of every game, the women formed a V from home plate to symbolize victory. While standing in the V, they listened to the Star-Spangled Banner to represent their patriotism for America and to show appreciation for the men at war. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League continued throughout the 1940s but came to an end once the war was over and all the men returned home. At this point, men baseball players started to play within Major League Baseball again, but this was not the end of women taking over male roles in society. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League brought Americans pure entertainment and distractions during World War II. Since gas prices, food, and luxury items were more expensive and rationed, Americans were forced to spend leisure time closer to home, so the league was a great way to bring America together. Baseball was already one of America's favorite pastimes, and the women continued the traditions of the love of baseball. Since women were already supporting the war effort by taking factory jobs and building military equipment, the environment was much friendlier in accepting women as professional baseball players. The league helped women start the fight for equal rights. Women were not only holding men's jobs, but played their sports as well. The women who fought in the equal right movement helped people understand that during the war, they were the ones at home keeping America together. Over the years, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League helped promote women's sports, especially within Title IX. Title IX was not only enforced to give women equality in sports, but also in the classroom and workforce. The league helped set an important precedent that even from early on, women were able to accomplish and do just as much as men. The women of this time fought for the beliefs that they should not only have equal rights in terms of voting, but they should also be allowed access to an extended education and other occupational experiences. Over time, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League not only brought America a great amount of entertainment during wartime, but also helped kickstart the equal rights movement and help promote women within Title IX. Women were able to step up during wartime and wanted to continue their new roles in the workforce, even though men returned home. Throughout history, women fought for their equal rights. The league gave Americans much more than the love of baseball, but helped to encourage women to step up and fight for the rights they believed in.